Hello out there. It is July 20th. This is Sunday evening edition of Diary of a Micro Budget Filmmaker. First, I want to apologize, I guess, not really. I found some old vlogs that I forgot to upload, or I didn't know if I was going to because I was doing Patreon sort of at the time and they kind of screwed me. Not that I was getting any money off them, but so anyways, I had some in there and they were out of order. So from now on, I'll try to upload everything in order to keep the chronology straight. Yesterday, I gave an update, and today I've got more of an update. I did talk to the gentleman who I had met through Facebook I think it was a Michigan filmmakers something. Very knowledgeable, very experienced gentleman, lives in the Detroit area. We talked for, 20 or 30 minutes. He told me a little bit about what he's been doing, which has been freelancing for, it sounds like 20 years maybe. Done some like low budget films, done a lot of commercial work, corporate work, some short films, a couple, what I presume are maybe streaming TV series. And after we talked, I looked up, he had given me 4 or 5 titles and I watched the trailers just to see how they were lit. I don't know that he shot them. I'm pretty sure he just lit them, but they look good. I mean, again, it's not Hollywood, but they don't have Hollywood budgets, blah, blah, blah. But he definitely knows what he's doing. So he indicated that he enjoys working on projects where he can sort of buy into them, invest in them, not monetarily, of course, but in terms of his passion for them. So that was all good to hear. And I am pretty confident that he would do a good job should we decide to bring him on board. And as I talked about our project, he was getting excited about it. And he's got a buddy up in mid-Michigan. He said, I could just stay at his house and I wouldn't have to go back and forth every day. So sounds like something he would be interested in. Of course, there would be some pay involved. Now, I'm not saying that's why he's interested in it, but that's just the facts. So I had mentioned yesterday that Brett had said that perhaps we could do it ourselves. So following that conversation, I did some odds and ends, and then I talked with Reese and Brett again for 2+ hours. We went over 30 more pages of the script, and man, they are invested in it. I have to say that not every moment was spent on that. They a lot of humor is involved, and I recorded the session, but I don't think I would want to put this one up because there were some sort of inappropriate things that happened, not like bad language and R-rated stuff, but I can't really say what it is without giving it away. But we were having a very good time. But in terms of the script, they were going over it with a fine-tooth comb. They were, reading along. I would give them like a page and they'd be reading down, and sometimes without any comments, sometimes with little comments, and sometimes with fairly major comments, really wanting to know, the motivations of people. Why are they doing this? Is it just convenience? And as I explained, hopefully I wasn't making excuses, but just explaining that my sense when I write, and probably overwrite, is to try to make sure there's no logical holes in the plot. So if someone says something or does something, there's been foreshadowing or some motivation for that to happen. So we easily identified a dozen things that we could cut. And I said, well, if we cut that, is it going to affect this? And could we just change this line of dialogue? Or could we take these 4 lines of dialogue and make them into one? So in the process of that, I think we shaved off another 3 pages. I think right now the script is 95. It started out at 101, then went to 98 last week. So 3 more pages this week. And it's, as a writer, anyone who's written at all, there's of course a tendency to fall in love with what you write, especially having worked on this as long as I had. And, you get those lines where you go, oh, those have just got to be in the script. And I don't know, I'm sure there's some of those And I don't know if any of, well, I'm sure some of them have gotten cut. And so it's not like I'm fighting to keep a line because I love the line, but there are certain things and they understand as I explain them. And it's like, okay, yeah, we need that for that, or that reveals this, or it's going to foreshadow that. So a lot of that, very productive. I mean, we could have done probably the same work in an hour and a half instead of, yeah, it was at least 2 hours. We had some trouble getting the Zoom going. So another very productive session. Again, doing it with your sons is a bonus to just see what insight they have from an acting standpoint, and just they watch a lot of movies as part of their, homework and experience. So that's great too. And then after that, I filled them in on the gentleman I had talked to, and they are both pretty much convinced or on board. I should say not on board because I wasn't the one who brought it up, but the idea that we could do this ourselves without having to pay someone. Obviously, as one of them said, if we had $5,000 laying around or $10,000 laying around and we could bring in 3 experienced crew for 2 weeks, that would be awesome. But the idea of, I mean, technically I've got the money to spend, I guess, whether it's a loan or taking out of your 401 or IRA or whatever. I mean, so there's money there that we could spend, but I think with the money we save, we could probably, we'll obviously figure out another way to spend it if we want to. I've been thinking about what more equipment we need. It's not like the nice to have and need to have. And I think I talked about another lens and blah, 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 blah. So, and I'm thinking about renting another shotgun mic too, but that's neither here nor there for now. So no final decisions yet. I sent them a couple links to the guy's work and they were going to watch them. And I don't know if that's going to change minds or whatever, but so very productive Sunday. Good news. It's feeling good. What would prevent us from making the film at this point? It's really getting to be less and less. I think if somehow the locations totally fell through, I got to get hold of one of the actors still he was at the table read and everything, but I really need to get him to commit. And I don't know that it's going to be a trick, but that's another thing. I do have someone else that could probably, I know could do the role if need be, but that would involve some money to get him up here, et cetera, et cetera. I guess that's it. The work week begins. I keep trying to do something every day, as I've said, toward the production of this film. I did some more camera tests just now. I did some this morning. So I'm putting those into DaVinci Resolve and just seeing how they look at the different quality, the different codecs and stuff. It's just crazy how much room they take up on the card, the CFast 2.0 card. So other technical stuff, but those are the ins and outs. This ended up being a little longer than I thought it might be, but hopefully it'll be worthwhile. And the good thing is you probably watched this at 2x speed, or you skipped ahead, or you've already stopped watching it. If you haven't, thanks for watching. Go out and make yourself a movie. Come back and tell me how you did it.